Hello. Happy birthday, I hear you say. What? Yeah, happy birthday, I hear you say. Thank you. Uh, yeah, it's my 40th today. Somehow, I have to acknowledge I've somehow made it this far, and I'm still here. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna try to do something this year. I haven't done anything on my birthday, to my memory, to my recollection, for about 16 years. It's a long time, and I'm 40 today. And I've decided to go to there's some gardens in London called the Chelsea Physic Gardens. It's botanical gardens, physic, not physics, physic. And this botanical garden, they've got different plants and medicinal plants to look at. Basically, I'm just gonna. I plan to walk around if I manage to get myself there. If I manage to get myself there, just walk around, look at the plants, let them talk to me, like the aliens, like the aliens. But yeah, I haven't hardly been out for months now. I've had my health conditions demanding that I not do a lot. I focus just on being present, because that's what was absent, has been absent due to the physical health and mental health problems I have the present moment. It's like I'm sitting down, but I might as well be up dancing or something, raving. I'm not present with what I'm doing. The last few months have just been this so fast. This world is so fast. It can take it away from us so easily. It's worth everything to get that back. So that's what I've been doing for the past few months. But other than a pop to the shops here and there locally, I've not been out of the area. And this is on the other side of London, so it'll be a challenge, but it'd be lovely if I'll be able to do it. Looking at all the plants, seeing which ones talk to me, tell me, Gabriel, you have to take me. Can you not see my flowers, my leaves, what they mean, how they make you feel, what messages they send you, what synesthetic conclusions can you draw as a result of all the information I'm going to communicate with you when you see me. And that's basically communication with plants, and that's all that shamans do. But they've taken it to another level, that this extremely fast world hides as a potential for humanity. Imagine it, you go for a walk in a forest and you see a plant and it's talking to you. It's essentially talking to you because you're not reliant upon the same things. The forest is everything to you because you probably lived there as a shaman. So the forest might as well become your mind. And you see a plant there, and this plant's growing as it grows. And just as it grows, it doesn't have to do anything more. It's communicating a message to the shaman. And that's the potential of life, and it doesn't have to be a plant. Plants are like the first step, the first easy step. We've been doing this for aeons as a collective. It's only the past, what, 1,000 years that we've slowly conditioned ourselves out of that belief that we can just instantly know the consciousness of a plant. Is it meant to be consumed? Can it be consumed? How can it be consumed? If it can be consumed, are we going to smoke it, make it into tea, put it into food, rub it on the body, stick it up the bottom? Seriously. Some plants say, stick me up your bottom. That's the beauty. And then you have a conversation back. No, thank you, plant. I am not sticking you up your bottom. And you've gone mad. You've gone mad to the situation. But the reality is absolutely beautiful. That a plant is telling you to stick it up its bottom because it will heal you. And you say, no, plant, I'm better than sticking things up my bottom. But if you, next time I see you, you tell me I can take you in a tea, rub you on my body, smoke you in a smoke, I might change my mind. And we're talking to nature all of a sudden. And I've been talking to aliens. I've been talking to aliens for many years on a subconscious level, on a level I couldn't admit, and I've only recently been able to admit that's what I've been doing. I see them as my employers. Basically, I'm on a spiritual mission. And this world, I've looked and I've looked and I've looked, and there are not many spiritual people. There are not many spiritual people I can call a guru, surrender to, learn everything they've got to teach, and grow, become a better person, become a spiritual being. But unfortunately, I'm 40 and there's only a few people in the world doing it. I mean, there are yoga instructors and everything else, but who in the world calls themselves spiritual? I can think of 3 people on the top of my head that are 4 people that are well known enough, and there's probably about 10, 20 on this list now, but I can think of 4 people. Is 20 people in the world really adequate for the spiritual nature of humanity? Not in the slightest, and I've gone a bit mad to that. And on a conscious level, my consciousness has been meeting and balancing out with my subconscious. I've been doing a lot of work. And I admitted to myself, I've been employed by, I've got a special name for them, I won't say it on this video. I've been employed by one race of aliens since I was about 17. Since I was about 17, and the original download, that's how it comes in. It's a download. It's not like, oh, alien, weird body, light shining from their ass and everywhere, light shining from them. They're a light being, they're high conscious beings, but they like a joke. That's why I said that. No, it's not like that. I don't get a sense of another person, another body, another life force. It's just like, as I'm thinking about life, my mind shifts into a place where it's noticeably different. And in that place, I can define it as a different web page. There's a different web page to the normal web pages. It's like a different internet. You found the dark webs or something, and on the dark webs, anything is possible. And over years and years of doing this subconsciously, unconsciously, partially consciously, not really believing it, you look back after what, 23 years, and you think to yourself, my God, I'm actually in communication with aliens. That's what I believe. It's the Pleiadians. They're my guys. We're talking about the aliens in the sky, but each one of us has some sort of extraterrestrial origin. origin. When the soul is born, it shapes the body beyond sex, beyond religion, beyond race. It's still present. I'm hoping to bring this information to the world one day. I've been wanting to write a book about it for years. It's easy to see. Well, it's easy to see. If I point it out, if I draw the pictures, it's easy to see. Like my uncle who passed away, he was Pleiadian. My sister, she's Pleiadian. I've got it down to this level. And my dad was Thetan, and my mum was Syrian. And that's who I've been talking to today, the Syrians. On my 40th birthday, the day before my 40th birthday, when I go outside for a smoke, there's about a few places where I normally stand to smoke. One of them is on a small estate, it must be a council estate. And I've been smoking there now all summer. How many months? 4 or 5 months, really going outside as much as I can to smoke. And yesterday, I find out that from one of the places where I smoke, literally like 5 seconds away, there's basically a telephone booth. And I'll explain what I mean by this. There's a telephone booth to the Syrians. My mum was Syrian. Jesus is Syrian. His reincarnation is Syrian. Putin is Syrian. What other famous Syrians do we know? There are many. Steve Jobs was half Syrian. Yeah, this is what I've been doing for the past 20 years now. Just building this ever-growing picture and understanding of aliens walking among us. I'm Hathor. I believe Hathor actually is connected to the Earth. I don't know what planet Hathor is connected to, or star system, etc. But I'm Hathor. I know I'm Hathor. As I said, it's easy to see, but my appearance at the moment hides it. But I've seen a picture of me when I was a baby, and the baby says 100% Hathor. So that's how I know I'm Hathor. But there was a telephone booth 5 seconds away. What a birthday present. And how did the telephone booth look? It was basically a bee's hive. A bee's hive. And that is how I'm going to be communicating with Syrians now, as well as Pleiadians. I need to find out what Putin's up to. He's up to no good. He's just sign the ceasefire, man. What are you doing? Your beef was in NATO, and NATO have cut their bollocks off. Just sign the deal. You've won. Get it over with. So I need to find out, but that's the whole point. I've got to explain how it works first. So there are 6 main that I've managed to define, 6 main alien races, and I've considered Hathor as one of them. So there are 6 races. And each one has a different aspect of nature and animals and insects that it connects to. For instance, the Pleiadians connect to the bird kingdom. These distant aliens far in the distance from the Pleiades, when they feel us, when they connect to us on some level, energetic consciousness level, they do it through the bird kingdom. How many birds are there on the planet that create an energy and a consciousness? That's what they connect to. The Syrians connect to the insect kingdom. That's why a bee's hive is a telephone booth. It's insects. And all insects do is follow energy. They don't think about it, they know what to do. They follow energy. Reptilians, the reptilian kingdom. I believe Arcturian is the sea. They've got some sort of sea connection. Thetans are the mammal kingdom. Oh, it's getting dark. Put the light on. Do better than that. There we go. Thetans are the mammal kingdom. And this is what my research over the years has concluded thus far. But either way, I've been in touch with the Pleiadians who connect through the bird kingdom. I don't need to connect through birds. I feel like I'm somehow wired into them through the energy, knowing the energy of my uncle and my sister so well. I love Pleiadian energy. When I meet someone who's Pleiadian, their energy is just the best. It's like a baby blue energy, and they're just alive, you know? They're alive. That's the easy way to find the Pleiadians. Syrians are a bit different. But either way, let's get to the story. I was there and I was ready to communicate to the Syrians now, like I've been communicating to the Pleiadians. You got to take your time. You can't rush these things. So I'm thinking, right, yo guys, what's going on with Putin? Give me an answer. He's your guy, and he's making some problems in the world at the moment. Give me an answer. And I'm there, and I'm like, I want it right this second, you know. I want this answer right this second. I'm speaking to them, just give it to me right now. But I'm like, no, I know how these things work. I know my guys who sit in the sky smoking marijuana all day long, just watching us. I know their energy, I know their show. I've got to take it slow with them. It's the same with you guys. So I'm there and I'm watching the bees and they're making patterns. I'm like, whilst I'm smoking, I think, let's just zone out, look at the bees making patterns and watch the patterns for like 4 months and just become the pattern. Follow the energy better than a Syrian follows the energy, sort of thing. And that's what I decide. As quickly as I decide that, I think I take a few steps back to the wall behind me to just feel it behind me so I can stand straight and watch them. And I step on something, but what I stepped on, there was some mess. It must have been a dog. I think it was a dog. I hope it was a dog that messed. And I was like, oh no, hopefully I haven't stood on that. And no, it was just a bit of soil that was on the bricks, concrete, whatever the floor was made of. And it was just a bit of soil raised. I thought, phew. But I noticed there was a bee that must have been digging a hole or something in the soil. And I stepped on the bee. So I'm there just about to speak to the Syrians, and I've got a bee that I've just killed. I've just killed one of them. What am I going to do? Well, he's alive, he's crawling, he's in agony. Anyway, it wakes me right up, and I can't deal with it. I don't know what to do. I'm looking at it thinking, do I put it out of its misery? What's going on? I want to be talking to them. This isn't the best way to be communicating with aliens on the first conversation, is it? This is serious. I mean, I don't like killing insects. I don't like killing animals. I sold my car once because I was having too many bugs die on the window screen. That's why I sold my car. That's who I am. That's when I didn't have my mental health disorder and I was just proper spiritual. I was like, no, this sentient being cannot be secondary to this inanimate object. I can take a train. At least the train, if it kills any, it's got a few hundred people on and justified instead of me, one person with my car. So I've stepped on it and I can't deal with it. So I'll take the rest of my smoke and I'll go for a walk elsewhere. And I decided to come back and put it out of its misery. It's crawling. And I come back and I look and it's gone. I'm thinking, yes, it didn't die. But I look a little bit further and it's still there. It's managed to crawl over onto the right side this time, the correct side. And I think to myself, no, if I kill it, I kill it. But there's just the smallest chance if I don't kill it, it gets up and walks away this time. If it was cast iron guaranteed, like I could see its wing was broken or something. But it didn't look like it was in so much pain. It might have just been a broken wing, which means that it just doesn't get up and fly away. It doesn't get trodden on as the finality. They're proud animals, bees. They will give their life for the queen, for the collective. And he didn't deserve to go out like that. That was the final decision. It's horrible. But there's me stepping up to communicate with Syrians, looking at the patterns, thinking, yeah, I'm just going to become the pattern. I'm going to be faster than a Syrian following energy. I've asked you a question, aliens. I won't say the name I call them, as I said. I've asked you a question, and I've decided I was going to follow this energy for the winter months. As I go outside and I'm freezing, I'm just going to watch the bees go in and out of the hives making patterns, and through the patterns you're going to talk to me. And before I know it, I'm stepping on a bee, having a conversation with a bee about its very life, calling into question who I am as a human being. Killing, murder, life, death, consciousness, sentience, communication, what it means to be alive. And before I know it, the Syrians are communicating with me very clearly, giving me a very simple message with one of their own. They communicate with us through the insect kingdom for whatever intensive purposes. It might as well look like the insects are more Syrian than humans. And I just killed one of them. I didn't step on it, but chances are it's not going to get up. I killed it. I stepped on it. Very lightly when I stepped on it. I just didn't put it out of its misery. So yeah, the aliens are talking back. They're communicating back. The two I don't know are Hathor and Arcturians. I believe Arcturians are linked to the sea, as I said, and I've got Hathor labelled as like some sort of dinosaur connection. Like, you know, you see some animals and they have like a beak for a bird, for instance, but it's more like some sort of dinosaur beak rather than normally. I know it sounds weird, but think I'm mad and just don't turn away pictures of birds. And then one day you'll be lucky enough to see a picture of a bird with a dinosaur beak and you'll be like, that's what Gabriel meant. But Hathor, it's like Hathor goes below the sea, on the sea, which is land level, so below the sea, sea level, and in the air she flies. That's my understanding of Hathor. But other than a few birds that swim, walk on the land banks, and fly, I'm a bit stumped. Could possibly be marsupial kingdom though, because the duck-billed platypus, this is it, the duck-billed platypus. Look at the duck-billed platypus's spout, and that's like prehistoric. That's like a dinosaur era. They've been living there for like 250 million years, I think, the duck-billed platypus, something ridiculous. And all they do is play all day long. That just sounds like Hathor to me. They go in the water, they're this cute little animal. So this is what my mind does. It says, I know I don't know the answer to what kingdom Hathor is linked to. But I've got a few possibilities. It could be X, Y, Z, and onwards. And I keep those possibilities open in my mind until I get more and more information. And as I get more and more information, I can put things in their place. Because spirituality exists. It's real. It's part of this world. And if the world tells you spirituality doesn't exist, you have a choice at that moment. You're either going to go insane to the lie the world is teaching you, or you're going to go insane the other way and believe spirituality is real when it is real. But because the whole world, pretty much, most of the world doesn't believe in spirituality, they've got religions that say God exists, we have our prophet, and so on and so forth. Do X, Y, and Z to be spiritual. That's not spirituality. Spirituality is everything. Spirituality is doing all the religions all at the same time. Try that one. You want to tell me you're religious, you're doing all the religions. You want to come and argue me? I've got plenty of smoke and I've got a coffee machine. Be my guest. If you're religious, you do all the religions. You're not just doing one religion. Then you're an Arsenal supporter. If you're a football supporter, you support all the teams. If you support football, you support all the teams. Nobody supports football. They support their team. You don't want your rival to win the league or the cup. You want your team to win the cup. But what happens if one of the bottom teams goes? This happened in the UK. One of the bottom teams went on an amazing run and they won the league. It was like, the odds were ridiculous. People made a lot of money off that if they put a bet on it. Ridiculous. The league had been locked down by the top 4 to 6 teams. And it was a question of who's going to win it between these 6 teams. You look at the 7th team, it's laughable. The 7th team are going to win it. You would wet yourself in laughter. And one of the bottom teams now somehow went on to win it. I'll let you into a little secret. It was a conspiracy. The people did it. There's a secret spiritual awakening going on, and the people, through intention, made that happen. But that's a conspiracy. I've got a mental health disorder. I'm mad. I believe in spirituality. So you're more than welcome to say I'm mad. Either way, they went and did this. Now that is supporting football. The ones who wanted the bottom team to win when it was near impossible, to break down this impossible top 6 wall, coming all the way from the bottom and having to come above many teams as well and to go on and winning it, that's supporting football, isn't it? What a story for football. Everybody wanted Leicester City to win. because it would be a great story. Even if you were one of the top 6, you just wanted on some level Leicester City to win. It made an amazing story, even though it was totally fixed. It was well worth seeing. It was beautiful to see. Yeah, we've been talking 30 minutes. I feel gutted about the B, so I can't apologise. Apology doesn't exist. Nobody's ever sorry. We make mistakes because we're in shit tons of trauma and pain, and we make a mistake unconsciously. Forgive yourself. Nobody is ever sorry. But we're responsible and accountable, and we have to remedy certain mistakes. That's being sorry. So I'm looking up at the sky like I normally look up when I'm speaking with the Pleiadians. And there's a few flies in the room, so let's communicate with the flies. What are we going to say? You guys are absolutely mad sticking that bee right under my foot. Why didn't it just fly away? Why did you have to put that pressure on me? I didn't need that. We were speaking, just make the bee safe and fly away. Don't need that guilt trip. And they say, a lesson's been learned. Give it time, don't think about it. We're all dying for each other. Every single life that is lost through old age, through war, through disease, through just a natural death in these modern times is a wasted life. We're immortal beings, and that will be returned to us. I'm going all prophetic now, but that will be returned to us in good time. We're destined to be immortal again. I didn't step on a bee, I stepped on a human. I basically killed a human. If we really assess our lives show that we are responsible for other people's pain. And unfortunately, if that person passes away whilst we're responsible for a part of their pain, then we're partially responsible for their death. And that happens to a greater or lesser extent with everything we do. With one of the most obvious ones, I live in the UK. I pay my taxes. How much of my taxes goes to the production of murder machinery for war? That weaponry gets sold, that weaponry gets used, and murder is created just by living in the UK. Unfortunately, we're all murderers, literally. How many arms have been sold to Israel in the past that have gone into destruction of Gaza? We're responsible for the destruction of Gaza too. Do you want to do the percentages? There are 50 million people here in the UK. We all pay our taxes. Part of that goes to producing arms. We could run the numbers if we really wanted to find out what percentage of that 50, 60,000 people in Gaza each one of us here in the UK is responsible for. It'd be sickening to say. It'd be something like 0.00034% of a person I am responsible just for murdering, just for living in the UK. I don't know if you can see that, what I'm trying to say. With enough consciousness, we can become accountable down to that ridiculous level. There's an active war in this world, and unfortunately our government has sold them weapons. Those weapons have been used, and as a result, this death toll is, well, for the Ukraine, Russia, it's well over 1 million people. How many weapons have been sold to the Ukraine? How many weapons? There's the active side of it. Oh no, they've killed X amount of Russians, or whoever else is fighting against the Ukrainians that the Russians are employing. And the second thing is, we're giving a false sense to Ukraine to continue the war that you've got weapons, when the message should be, Ukraine, what are you doing? You're not part of NATO. America hasn't got your back anymore, and Russia's a big boy compared to you. You must stop right this second. Otherwise, these weapons are just going to create more death if we sell them to you. But that doesn't happen. No, there's a chance to make money. Ah, it's just a bee. It's just a bee. We all step on bees all the time. But we don't have that horribleness of that finality. Do we step on the bee again to put it out of its misery? Or do we leave it to struggle with the chance that it can go on to live, probably disabled for the rest of its life, if it lives? I needed a bit of a wakey today. I've been travelling around different dimensions of existence for the past 2 months solid. It's just been like every day is different. I know what I'm doing. I'm really extremely focused, but the focus is to such an extent that I'm allowing myself, I'm so focused, the situation is requiring me to be more and more unconscious. So I'm focused within unconsciousness. I understand what's going on for me within unconsciousness as I work through my problems. I'm unconscious. Can I say that whilst I'm speaking? I'm unconscious. I'm unconscious to everything I am. I know that with certainty. And I've just been relaxing to that mentality. I'm unconscious to everything I am, but I give everything to being conscious first. So in other words, whatever, okay, call me unconscious, I am conscious. And I am going to be conscious if I'm not conscious now, which might as well relabel this as consciousness. That's been a daily fight, and it's been physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain, and I've just been trying to keep it really calm. Lots of smoking, lots of just slow change in the present moment, as life says, I'm going to demand this from you, Gabriel. I'm demanding this change, and to know just to change, not to hold on, anymore. So yeah, if you want to imagine Syrians, they can look like jolly lions on the outside. As I said, Jesus was Syrian. They can look like jolly lions. I'll try and make a few more live streams on this, maybe, if if I get any comments, I'll definitely do it. So yeah, Syrians, the way they are on the inside is cold like Putin, but on the outside they somehow perform the miracle where they look like a jolly lion. That's how I currently think of them. Anyway, good luck if you want to give it a try too. Just don't step on any bees.